Okay.
Hello, it's Scott here from the Agile Reflect Festival. I'm here with Mark Kilby. I know Mark because Mark spoke at some of our meetups in Scotland very successfully. Mark and Joanna had co-written the book around about distributed teams and online remote working just as the time of March. So it was really good timing. So when you came over, you could explain how the world was going to work. And I've still referenced all of that. The point of the call, I'm going to let Mark take over in a little bit, but the point of the call is I've asked Mark to be a volunteer speaker. And Mark said, what's a volunteer speaker? And I said, let's make a video about it. And he says, you're a crazy mad Scotsman.
So may not have used those exact words, but yeah, okay.
So Mark, who are you? I think you're the Kevin Bacon of Agile. Because I think I can get to any speaker through you in about 4 steps.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if it's 6 degrees, 4 degrees.
6 degrees of Mark Kilby.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
who are you?
So what is?
Start with who are you? The viewers want to know. People in Africa.
So I'm still stuck on the crazy mad Scotsman thing. So anyway, Agile coach. More distributed teams than ever co-located teams, but that's been my luck of the draw. Also writing, actually working on a second book now, based on my 20 plus years experience in Agile and distributed teams in particular. But
so this has been your year.
Yeah. So actually what I got started when the first XP book came out. Actually, when Kent Beck published one of the first articles in IEEE software, which I think was early 1999. Yeah. And I saw that article and I said, wow, this is crazy enough it could work. And I started playing with some of the techniques then. So I've been at it ever since then. So I've done XP, I've done Scrum, and it's not so much about collecting a toolbox of practices for me. It's really about the principles. It's always been about the principles, because no matter what situation you're in, you can fall back on the principles and figure out a new way to be agile. For me, there was nothing magical about being distributed in Agile. It was just, what principles are we trying to achieve here?
No,
so that's why. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, volunteer speaker, Kilby, any questions?
What is this volunteer speaker thing? So tell me about this.
Right. Okay. So, what we wanted to do was something that was online, and then as soon as we realized it was online, we wanted to do something that was distributed around the world, and we wanted to do it to coincide with 20 years of Snowbird and the Agile Manifesto.
Okay.
Original idea was we thought of a retrospective, but we actually thought that was quite small. We did some market testing, and I can show you the data, but you know that thing about get 3 Agile coaches and you'll get 9 opinions? Well,
minimally.
I got 40 Agile coaches' opinions. And when I looked at it, I went, this isn't one thing. So we looked for a format where things could work. And there's a thing in Edinburgh called the Fringe Festival. It's the biggest festival in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of it? If you ever come over.
Heard of it, yes.
Yeah. It is just chaos. It's like every building, it's like every building, every church, everywhere suddenly puts on shows. And there's everything from whiskey tasting to comedy shows, and some of the comedy shows are like mainline comedy shows, and other ones are just like one guy and with the audience is like one person.
Right.
Yeah. And there's music and there's opera and there's everything. And interestingly enough, they don't really care about what's in the program. Yeah, because they let the audience navigate. So one of the things I thought was, what if we had a distributed setup where anyone could do anything, okay? Mm-hmm. And to keep it distributed, what if we let the local groups organize it? Because I know some of the bigger conferences, some people have had difficulty getting in. There was problems about, everything being structurally central and things. Yeah. And sometimes it can just feel like television because you're just watching, like one show. so I thought, what if the meetups around the world and the companies and organizations around the world and even speakers around the world, did things. So let's say you wanted to do something, you could host an event, you could get put your meetup on, it ends up in the large program, and someone could say, oh, look, Mark's talking about, distributed working.
Yeah.
Here.
So I could even do an interview with some random Scotsman, for instance.
You could. I think you might find it difficult to get me in February. And I think there's only going to be about 10,000 people trying to get Alistair and Jeff.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the idea. And then we thought, well, then we thought about ambassadors. So the ambassadors so we thought, what if every country in every large area, and in the USA, Gervais Johnson's the ambassador. He's just signed up. He's looking for people to help him. Because USA is so big, you're probably going to need several ambassadors.
Probably need a few. Yeah.
So really excited that these people have volunteered to do things in the country, and so we're going to list there. And one of the first questions that ambassadors asked was, how do we get hold of speakers? Because if you're in Pakistan and you maybe wanted to have 6 meetups, or if you're in Nigeria and you want to do things, you don't have Mark Kilby's number. Yeah.
No. You don't even have my numbers. So.
Joanna will give it to
me. Yeah, she probably would.
So that was a real interesting concept. And then so I thought, well, what if we had a director of speakers? So, and then I thought about it, and if you've worked out anything about me, is I don't really do hierarchy. So. I thought, well, who could be in the director of speakers? I thought, well, anyone could be in the director of speakers because it's the meetups that are choosing them in the topics. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if we had a director of speakers that had the contacts that the ambassadors had, then the ambassadors have got access to talk to speakers, and we could also make sure that the speakers don't get overloaded. So you don't get contacted by 6 countries, while trying to do something. Okay. So if Pakistan's already booked you, then everyone else can see that Pakistan's booked you. Yeah.
Okay. So now I got a better idea what the ambassadors are doing. So, they might be reaching out to speakers, but they're also kind of deconflicting a little bit.
Yeah, and cooperating. And see, I've got this really clever way to run this. You see, I thought that the easiest process to run it was people.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah, and then I thought, well, if we had local people and there was a local problem, maybe the local people could fix it without even contacting anyone.
Oh, you really don't do hierarchy.
I'm a well-known pirate.
Yeah, got it. Okay, all right, it's making sense.
Okay, so the next bit is, if we've got this directory, it's kind of like it's like the agent's casting book, a little bit. It's got like who you are, what you want to talk about, and the other thing I qualified on is the amount of times you've talked. So if you've talked more than 20 times, then you know the ropes. Some people came on that haven't talked before, and they would. And again, it's interesting. They're picking to do lightning talks. So like little 20-minute talks.
So
people want to do that. That's great. So now here's the thing. I'd like to get 1,000 speakers on there.
Okay.
And I would like, and I don't think anyone's too big. I'm going to be telling Alistair that later. I don't think anyone's too small, to be on it. And again, it's, maybe you want to, and if we do that, the variety that we'll have in there, we'll have everything, we'll have clean language, we'll have safe, we'll have Scrum, we'll have distributed teams, we'll have some of the business psychology.
Any topic is fair game. Yeah.
Yeah. And
there might be actual whiskey tasting. So yeah.
I'm hoping so. Yeah. Maybe Mark will set one up. Only if you do invite me, you have to drop the E.
Understood.
So yeah, that's the real elements. There's a program that people going to things can navigate and find events, and then they book them locally. So if you look just now on the website, there's one event up. It's a bit of a test and learn we did, and it's Future Work, who you've spoken with, and they've got Joanna Rothman and Lisa Adkins and Dan Vacanti and Tobias Meyer, and they're having a panel debate about the future of Agile. Yeah. So
That'll be an interesting one.
and you all just book it locally through the local group. Yeah. And at the end of it, here's the other key bit that I love. We're going to take all the videos. So all the videos of all the events, and then we're going to put them onto YouTube under a Creative Commons. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that anyone could use those forever. So it's like a huge photograph of the whole of Agile around the world. And if we had 1,000 speakers, yeah, the 1,000 events, we've got our own like TED Talk system.
I see. So are there any prizes if somebody watches all the videos?
I was going to say glaucoma. Listen, dude, your election isn't finished yet. You guys, and I don't know about the rest of you, but since March, I've done Netflix.
Yeah, watch all of it.
I think I watched The Boys in about 10 minutes. Yeah. So that's the idea. Really simple. Completely distributed. What I'm loving is, and this is interesting. I thought this would be like of interest to people who know Agile. Yeah. It turns out it's of interest to anyone.
Yeah. Well, I like the idea that anybody with any speaking experience can participate because, Women in Agile has their speaker mentoring, maybe a few meetups can also use this as an opportunity to get some new speakers up and running. So that sounds marvelous.
And if you're a meetup and you maybe have one event a month, why not do a couple of events?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, that's just the events aspect. But when we're looking at things, people have suggested doing kind of surveys as well. So I know so we've got quite a lot of organizational backers as well. So the Business Agility Institute are supporting us. PMI and Scott Ambler are supporting us. Ellen and the Agile Alliance are supporting us. And I believe we're talking to I distribute everything, so I don't know what's happening. But I believe people are talking to Scrum Alliance, Scrum.org. I think Dean's doing something with SAFE. I think they're booking it. So the beauty of it is we're not kind of going through all the proposals, because none of what happens at a conference is there's like 400 proposals go in, and 40 people are picked. Now we don't have that constraint. So it's just a real chance to get some great variety, some great ideas, and again to come out with this great learning resource. We're also trying to do it with kind of with not needing any money. So again, we're not putting the bait in a lot of sponsors of that. If meetups are happy to do it and speakers are happy to talk, and again, it's all community, then that makes it free for everybody. And that's going to really help in the third world and places where, I could
definitely.
And we've had a real interest in Africa. We're going into Asia. Really excited. We got ambassadors in Korea, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bahrain, Peru, all this week. So, even stimulating events. We might even start new meetups. So I'm actually talking to Meetup to trying to see if we can get some kind of free license for new groups just for that month.
Yeah.
So if you're watching Meetup, Mark Kilby thinks it's a good idea.
I think it's good, and also you may not realize this, but I'm also involved in an Agile Alliance initiative that supports meetups. So if you're thinking of starting a meetup, you'll want to go to Agile Alliance and look for community group support. Boom, there you go. You can start your meetup and be in the festival.
Brilliant. Yeah. I'm loving all this, and I'm loving everyone that's kind of got involved early on. And the idea kind of has evolved a bit, but I think I'm really liking where it's evolved to. It's distributed, it's global, and simple signups on the website, and driven by the director of speakers, the ambassadors, and the program. So the program has all the events, and also amazing. Imagine imagine the speakers. You could maybe speak in the Philippines. You could speak anywhere. All the,
Yeah,
but also also people in the Philippines or in Nepal, they can actually do events that we watch.
absolutely. No topic too basic or complex. Doesn't matter your experience. Just
Yeah.
get out there, get a group together, record it, go. I
Yeah,
like
and
it.
it does. And again, we're trying to build bridges. So if we can build bridges between like business and technology, if we can build bridges between different parts of the world, if we can build bridges between speakers and communities, that's what we want. This Agile, as you know, can sometimes be a little bit like I know the true way, and nobody and everyone else is an infidel.
No.
So,
Never seen that.
so I actually see the manifesto as a unifying event. It's one event we could all look
Yeah.
back to, and we could all say, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I think when we're looking at this, looking at the community and looking at what we're doing and that, and looking at all the events, and again, the surveys and some of the oral history capture and things, I think what might evolve is something interesting, is I think we'll hold a mirror up to ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think we'll find that we're not as good or as bad as we think we are. So
I think it's going to be amazing what we collect, no matter what.
yeah.
So one thing I'm wondering, let's say someone got this video from a friend of a friend of a friend. They didn't get it right off the website, and they were mildly entertained, massively informed, but now they're going, all right, what do I do? So how do I get involved? Where do I go?
Start at the website, okay? So
Which is right above your head right now, actually.
yeah,
So
it's
that's great.
Agile20Reflect.org. It's interesting. I've contacted 3 speakers in the last week, and they've all said they've heard about it already. So word must be out there.
Your network is working.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think the other thing is it's not my net. It's.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's not yours.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm definitely, well, I'm not hierarchical as I've said, but it's definitely not our central thing. Yeah, I hope to see this spreading like a wave. I think that's what I meant, like a Mexican wave. My wife's Mexican, and have you ever seen a Mexican wave?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of this to go that way. But yes, go to the website and see a little bit about our values. You can see the people that have backed us from the beginning, and then you can also see you can have a look at the speakers, and we've put some limited data on the website of the speakers, so you can see their name and what they want to talk about. We've got the contact details for the ambassadors, and that's just because we didn't want to put like a huge directory of everyone's contact details up on the web, and then you get 1,000 calls, because that would we want to kind of manage that a little bit. You can see who the local ambassadors are there as well, and if you want to be an ambassador, you can sign up for that. So I like to think there's 3 things you can do. There's speak, so you can sign up to be a speaker. Yeah, host, you can sign up as an organization to host, or a support organization, and promote, so you can sign up to be an ambassador, and you can help get organizations there. So speak, host, or promote, and it's your choice.
Okay. And February 2021, anytime in February they can speak.
24/7 as well, because we reckon we'll have things happening around the world. And then we'll also have the kind of the YouTube channel up there. I don't know when YouTube starts charging you for material. We're going to find out.
Okay. Let's hope you won't have to upset your sponsors. So.
Yeah, I mean, we did a meetup with Roman Pitchler, and we broke Jamboards. Apparently, you can only have 50 people on a Jamboard at once.
Yep.
Who knew?
Now you do.
Now you do. Yeah, so that's fun. So if you want to come on board, if you want to help, if you're an organization and you want to get on board, we will look for some financial support when we need it, but we're going to try and do everything without any financial support. And again, as is a community event, we're looking for speakers and the people involved, as everyone is so far, to kind of donate their time as well. So, but it's just, we just hope it's going to be a huge amount of fun. One thing for me is being involved in the Nigerians, and many of them are just past their PSMs and things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're so energized about learning this new way. And they're coming to me and saying, Scott, we love Agile. We're going to use it to try and help our governance, with all the problems in Nigeria. And I'm almost like tearing up. I'm like, oh my
That's
God,
cool.
I only use it to try and help large companies save some money. And they're trying to fix Nigeria. Again,
That is awesome.
I think a lot of, maybe it's like a marathon, right? So a lot of people have been Agile for a long time, and a lot of people have been maybe around about the same people for a long time. And actually getting back in touch with brand new people that are brand new to it, I think that might re-energize us all. This is regenerating me.
Yeah, that's very cool, and I hope a lot of those new ideas get shared in February as well.
Yeah, and if not, we can capture them, code them, so we can find them. But I'm also very interested in where Agile's been used around the world to do governance, to do climate change projects and things like that, and engage with things. One of my good friends is Luke Homan, and his kind of participatory budgeting, those kind of things are really great ideas taking off to help with the social side of things. So I'm really fired up about that. So
Excellent.
How do we end?
It's simple. Go to the website. Sign up.
Now. Go to the website. Now. Sign up.
Now. Now.
You too can be a speaker in the speakers registry next to between. You can be, if you go now,
Right now.
you can be between Mark and Finn Golding from Ireland.
There you go.
That was so much fun.